Hello, my name is Dr. Daniel Van Ingen. Welcome to the Dr. Van Ingen Clinical Psychology and Parenting Show. Today I want to talk about coping with teenagers' irritability. So, kids, as we know, especially preteens, tweens, and teens, get irritable. There's a lot of hormonal changes, there's a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of just self-absorption, right? So, consider the teenager that doesn't talk, looks down, comes out and eats breakfast, just does their own thing, then goes back into their bedroom. And say you're a guest at your friend's home and you find that this teen is very easygoing because they're not intrusive, they don't ask you any questions, they're only focused on themselves. So from a guest point of view, easy to be around this teen. From the parent's point of view, it's a little different. You might have heard the joke, how to piss off a teenager, right? Say good morning. Sing an old song that is not in the consciousness of the teenager, right? Say I love you in public or tag them on social media, right? So there's those kinds of things that come up. But I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you parents out there. And sometimes the holidays can be difficult. You have the ups and downs of being a teenager. You have the hormonal changes that are happening. You have the self-absorption, right? They tend to be into themselves, not as much a team player. And then you have things like concern about being embarrassed or just not wanting to be bothered. But then you have the deeper things. And so you have deeper things like coping with loss. Christmas can be a time of coping with loss if they've lost a grandparent or even a parent, or coping with divorce, or worst of all, coping with the death of a parent. And so there's a lot of those deeper issues where the holidays can be a great time. Some older teenagers have sort of grown out of the excitement of Christmas and the music and the holidays and the going for a carriage ride and the fun rituals and events. They're just sort of into their thing. But some of those deeper issues can make it harder for them to sort of connect with family traditions and things. So you have a number of things happening. And I want to talk about, particularly this month, I want to talk about what parents can do to cope with the ups and the downs, coping with teenagers' irritability. So first I want to give you a technique, the mindfulness grounding technique. So you ask a teenager to do something and they react, right? Or it's almost like they're ignoring you. Or when they sit with you, they're shut down. Or they're just irritable, right? And so it's helpful for parents to have some strategies for themselves, for you. And the mindfulness grounding technique can help with that. When you're right in the face of the dinner table or in the car or dealing with an irritable teen. The mindfulness grounding technique. So name 5 things that you can see. Name 4 things that you can touch, all right? Look around you. Identify 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear. And you might say, all I'm hearing is negativity. No, I'm referring to the sounds of your pet, the sounds of the wind, the sounds of nice music, the sounds of bushes, trees being blown, right? Name 2 things that you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste, right? Try taking a piece of dark chocolate, and if it's high dark, 80-90%, you have antioxidants. That's very healthy for you. And eat that piece of dark chocolate very slow over a 1-minute period of time. So that's the mindfulness grounding technique. And other another method is just the idea of a sensory modality. Um, one modality I like to call is lemon grounding. So we want to get grounded. So and same with the mindfulness grounding technique, lemon grounding helps us to get grounded. So I have a client in my practice who likes to cut up a lemon every morning, and she puts it in a glass Tupperware, and she uses the lemon. She just takes a piece and squirts it on her hand, and then takes in the fragrance, the aroma. So she identifies her level of anxiety. When stress starts going up, in that stress window, she takes out lemon and she smells it. Also, she puts lemon in her water. Also, she might even, for a few seconds, chew on a lemon wedge. So I call it lemon grounding. Some of those senses, from smell to taste to just even the sound, she likes the sound of the little lemon. It just helps her to get grounded. The other thing we need to do is we need to take perspective. So when you're dealing with an irritable teen, we definitely don't want to squeeze and control. We want to allow emotions to be expressed. We want our teen to feel like they can express their feelings, express their emotions. You know, it's okay to be mad, especially if they're in the middle of grief, or especially if Christmas is a reminder of a grandparent who passed, or parents who divorced, or a parent who experienced a loss, or a good friend who moved away. If you're a teenager and you've had friends move away, or if you've moved to a different city or a different state, a different school, that can be hard. That can be hard to adjust to. So there is some feelings, and it's okay to be mad. It's okay to feel sad. We want to allow them to express their emotions. And we want to be patient. We want to just allow them to be irritable. Recognize they're dealing with hormonal changes. There's lots of developmental and hormonal changes and transitions. But at the same time, while we want them to experience freedom and expression of emotion, as the parent, we want to uphold standards. We want to uphold politeness. You know, it's okay to express feelings and to be mad, but the standard in our family is to maintain respect and to communicate respectfully and to communicate politeness and be courteous. And so you can uphold standards and still, I think, allow freedom of expression of emotion. And then I think big picture, as parents, we definitely want to be patient. We want to, in the face of an irritable teen, we want to be patient. Ultimately, you're always going to be their father. You're always going to be their mother. And so the quality of our lives is dependent on the quality of our relationships. So being patient, exercising patience, valuing that relationship, I think, so having some grounding methods for us as the parent in the face of these irritable reactions. Also, we want to take perspective. And also, we want to recognize that we want to be patient. The value of the relationship is so important. And just have a long-term view. Finally, my final word is for ourselves as parents. We want to recognize that happiness is a choice. That our happiness is not dictated by the mood of our child. That our joy is not impacted by the level of irritability of our teenager. That our child's hormonal changes do not dictate our happiness. But rather, as a parent, my happiness is my choice. And that if my child's, just like we would for a younger child, right, their temper tantrum, we maintain right, poise under pressure. We maintain calmness in the face of a storm, right? We maintain peace as we address a young child's temper tantrum, right? An anger reaction, right? And a lot of times there's anger or anxiety. So a child may be anxious about something, but they express with anger, right? So, but as a parent, we want to acknowledge those and still solve problems, right? In the same way, with our older teens, there we maintain that peace. We maintain our happiness. We recognize that happiness is a choice, and our teens' irritability doesn't affect that. They don't define us. Their irritability doesn't limit our happiness, right? We don't look for them to cheer us up. We look in healthy ways, God, family, friends, and we look to ourselves to cheer ourselves up, right? Happiness is a choice. And in the long term, our happiness will have a flow, will flow out like a fountain of joy. Our happiness and our choices will ultimately have a positive impact on our irritable teens. They will see that they also, over time, can choose happiness. So thank you for watching the Dr. Van Ingen Clinical Psychology and Parenting Show. This is Dr. Daniel Van Ingen. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and may happiness be your choice during this time.